folks, the V8 Masters out on the circuit qualifying. We were just busy setting up the other microphones here in the commentary box. And there's 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the qualifying session. And so far, Fabio Tafani is the quickest man out there with a 1:15.645. Sean Moore done a personal best of a 1:15.771. And Marcel Angel on a 1:15.812, that is his PB, and Roy Campos as well on a 1:16.709. So the top five at this point in time is Fabio Tafani, Sean Moore, Marcel Angel, Roy Campos, Alistair Brown just moved up into P5, and Barry Ingle. My word, when last have I said that name? Barry Ingle, decades ago. He's done a 1:17.245 is his best, and his last lap was a 1:17.4. Richard Schroeder, all the way down so far in P7. Richard's done a 1:17.468. That's his last lap and his quickest lap. Mark Ridgway on a 1:17.6. That is his best time. Brian Evans and Mike Brooks round up the top 10. Sander Lebon and Dennis Gaiduk, they are in the top 12. Then Ian Kaplan, he's out there with a 1:21.711. That's his personal best. He sits down there in 13th position. And Brian Alger, well, he only did 2 laps, and that was a 1:41.290. So obviously some kind of a problem out there for him. But he's done a personal best of 28.5 seconds in Sector 1. So he's out there with that 21 V8 Master. Memo Parsons is in 15th place. He's only done 1 out lap. He has not posted a time yet, so I don't quite know if he's going to get that right. Time is running out with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the qualifying session. Fabio Tafani is just on a 1:15.653. But his personal, that was his last lap. The fastest lap is a 1:15.645, and that is still by Fabio Tafani, car number 1. Fabio is one of our visiting drivers. Sean Moore, Marcel Angel still second and third. And there's 0.02 of a second at this point in time in qualifying between Tafani in P1 and Moore in P2. 0.165 between Marcel Angel in P3 and Sean Moore, that's there in that second position. So with 1 minute and 55 seconds left in the V8 Masters qualifying session, we are heading towards the end of the qualifying for the V8 Masters. And still Tafani with a 1:15.645. Look at Moore, 1:15.647. 0.02 of a second between the two of them, approaching 1.5 minutes. That's between car number 1 and car number 73 of Tafani and Moore. So as the session begins to unwind here, we'll keep an eye on the clock. We do see from the commentary box windows that the V8 Master guys are beginning to pull into pit lane. So most of them are pretty happy with what they've done with 1 minute and 10 to go. I think they're pretty much going to settle for where they are right now. Marcel Angel still running down into turn number 5 into Fostron corner. That is the last car out on track by the looks of things. It seems pretty quiet out on the rest of these. There are 2 V8 Masters coming out of turn 3 out of Damstip. So heading towards the flag. That was Marcel Angel. He takes a checkered flag. He does a 1:15.788. So that will cement him in that third position. He's the only guy so far to have taken the checkered flag. I think everybody else is pretty happy with where they are at this point in time. There are 3 V8 Masters still making their way around. Richard Schroeder is just pulling into pit lane. So he obviously feels happy with that P8. Happy? Nah, not quite. His last lap was a 1:20.6. His best is a 1:17.468. So he's going to have to start in P8. Mike Brooks crosses the line. He's done a 1:19.637. That's his last lap. But a 1:19.1 is his best. So Mike Brooks will qualify in P10. Right, the session is over. Session is done. So your front row For the V8 Masters will be Fabio Tafani and Sean Moore. Your second row will be Marcel Angel and Roy Campos. Your third row, Mark Ridgway and Alistair Brown. Your fourth row, Barry Ingle and Richard Schroeder. Your fifth row, Brian Evans and Mike Brooks. Your sixth row, Zander Brain and Dennis Heideck. Your seventh row, Ian Kaplan and Brian Alga. 15 cars went out to qualify. Only 14 of them did. Memo Parsons in car number 14 did not post a time.
Come the race, comes the hour, cometh the man. I'm sure he'll be right in there. The silver class, Sander Le Bon, the top qualifier in that, and 1.2 seconds quicker than Dennis Geduk, who's also getting pretty much on the pace, I must say. Kaplan finding himself just outside of that, 1 second slower. And then Brian Algar, he obviously had problems with the qualifying, doing a 1 minute 41. So that's pretty much putting in top gear and just cruising around the circuit to complete the lap. So he did get a qualifying time, but not a true reflection of how quick Brian Algar can actually be.
Yeah, so 15 of them out there, Gary, and good field. Most of them the gold class, only a handful of silver class. Sander Le Bon, and then Dennis Geideck, Ilan Kaplan and Brian Algar. All of them using the Mustang APV 347IS machines. And, well, watching out there, Fabio Tafani, a good time with a 1:15.645. Only 0.02 of a second faster than Sean Moore in the qualifying session. Marcel Angel, he raced at the first race of the series. Of course, that was not in this class. This is the first race of the season for the V8 Masters. He raced in the Sports and GT cars against his son. He was, of course, he was in a Ferrari. Son was in a Porsche. That's Dane Angel. Dane Angel can't race in this class. He's not of age yet. But Roy Campos, that's also a big name for a number of years now from upcountry. Always he was racing a lot. Mark Ridgway, Alistair Brown, Barry Ingle, Richard Schroeder. Let me tell you one thing. I don't know. I'm going to get in trouble for this probably. He was always known as the Garden Gnome when he was doing the supercars in the Opel supercars, and he would always give it a great push against the likes of Brad Wadley and the late Neil Hawkins, who was also a magnificent talent. But they are now ready and waiting on the grid hatchings at the moment now. Fabio Tafani alongside Moore. Sean Moore, Marcel Angel. Watch them as they go now. The whistle blows. They'll get the 2 minutes board. 8 racing laps. They did their 1 warm-up lap, made sure that they have all the heat in the tires, in the brakes, because it could be interesting in turn 1. Of course, they're going to do a rolling start then, looks like it, yes. So the safety car will drive off through into KFM corner turn 1. Listen to those V8 motors now. Going up. Moore, Angel, Campos, Ridgway, Brown, Ingle, Richard Schroeder, Brian Evans. I used to commentate on Jared Evans in karting. Brian Evans also getting himself well and truly into the racing over the years. Mike Brooks in the 10th position. Sander Le Bon, first of the silver class runners there. 1:19.526 in quali. And now they did this sighting lap. They'll do their warm-up lap. And this is where it all goes now. It's going to be roaring thunder into the first turn at KFM corner. Number of incidents there today in various classes. Everybody will be crossing their fingers and toes to hope that doesn't happen this time.
So back to where he's accustomed to being. Fabio Tafani right up front on the front of the grid. Sean Moore always there and thereabouts. Super duper quick. Pushes very, very hard. Not scared to get into the rough and tumble of it whatsoever. Sticks his nose in where there's a gap, and a true racer of note. Marcel Angel and Rui Campos on the second row of the grid. Surprisingly, Mark Ridgway finds himself on the third row of the grid, and he will fancy himself undoubtedly for a top 3 in this race. So that 5-way battle, I think to a large extent it's going to go all race long. I tend to think Fabio Tafani will be the man to catch if he gets the pole position, if he gets the whole shot coming out of KFM turn number 1. I think he might be able to hold on to it, but You can't count out Sean or Marcel or Rui or Mark. And it's a pity Richard Schroeder is just outside of those lap times, because there was not that long ago that he was one of the top runners in this form of motorsport, but unfortunately finds himself just a little bit off the top at this stage of the fight. So through Fastron corner they go. Hearts will be pumping now on the front row of the grid. Sean Moore is going to find himself on the outside line as they go down towards KFM corner. It's going to be good stuff as they come up towards us, keeping it nice and slow, nice and tight. Look how bunched up the pack is. That second row right in there. Keep an eye on the likes of Marcel Angel. Off the line they come, down towards turn number 1 they go. Fabio Tafani. Oh, look at Sean Moore trying to squeeze it out. Sean Moore climbs onto that inside line. It's Angel that tried to have a look around the outside, backed out of that one. Ridgway also runs. Oh, looks like Richard Schroeder's turned around, and he's been whacked as well. I think it was Richard Schroeder. I might be wrong, but it was a silver car. I think it was, I think it was Richard Schroeder. Lost the tail end. I do believe we might end up with a yellow flag. It all depends how quick the marshals can clear the circuit. They'll probably hold it for as long as they possibly can before they actually bring out. Yeah, the red flag is going to be brought out. What a pity for that one. Could be a bit of suspension damage on that car that turned around. Do believe it was Richard Schroeder. So a knock on the wheel probably will negate any opportunity to take that car and drive it back to the pits. It'll be up onto the flatbed.
Now, unfortunately, I think I jinxed it there, Gary. We talked about turn 1 and all the action that it's seen today. And unfortunately, there you have 3 cars involved in a first collision. The marshals get out there, they sweep all the dust and debris up. And no surprise there, it is a red flag. 33 is Ian Kaplan, 41 Brian Evans, and is also in there. And Richard Schroeder, unfortunately, is one of the men out there as well. It's unfortunate over there as well, but it looks like one of them, I think it is Richard Schroeder, that got it going again and could drive through the infield. So there we go, Gary. Ian Kaplan involved Brian Evans and Richard Schroeder, as we had feared initially.
I think it initially was Richard Schroeder that got the tail end coming around. Whether it was a touch or his own error, we will not know. Either way, what's happened has happened. It's the way it is. Fabio Tafani from Sean Moore on the front row of the grid. Nice to see Rui Campos in there on that second row. The Campos transport car. Mark Ridgway would love to be part of that. Well, let's see, there's some footage coming. Oh, I just missed the beginning of that playback. Maybe they will do that playback again and we can pick up how it actually originated. Let's hope our producer runs it backwards for us and we can see what actually caused the beginning of that incident. Yep, there we go. Yep, Richard Schroeder looks like he lifted lightly off the gas. He was in there behind the red car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number 7. So it was probably Barry Ingle that I think he was closing on Ingle just on the apex of the corner, lifted off, climbed on the gas again. That started turning the tail end around, tried to run it off onto the infield. Well, at that stage of the fight, you are purely a spectator and you're heading straight towards the scene of the accident. So to everybody watching us at home, welcome Killarney International, the second half of the first meeting of the season, regional and club. And this is the V8 Masters that you see there out on circuit. And they actually don't have a class sponsor for this year, so if you'd like to get your name linked to this form of motorsport, you can get hold of the powers that be here at Killarney International. You can speak to the likes of Mariska Radane. She'll be able to link you up with the right people and maybe put your company name behind the V8 Masters, a class act down here at Killarney International Raceway. A very nice size field, as always. Beautiful motor cars, all of them prepared here on site. One crew that works on all different motor cars, make sure they are all, as far as possible, exactly the same. Gives the driver the opportunity to bring his best A game to the track on a race day. A big thanks to all the class sponsors for their link up with Killarney International for 2021. Also to Mad Max Motorcycles for the sponsorship of the bridge. Fastron for turn number 5, Cape Town Corner. Fastron from the Pertamina Group. Car Care Clinic, Mel Spur and the crew for turn number 4. Porsche Club South Africa for the main straight. KFM for the KFM straight and turn 1 KFM corner. Always nice to have those big names out there joining us. So as jy by die huis sit en jy kyk die wedrenne en jy wil ook jou maatskappy se naam hoor, bel gerus maandag deur na die baan toe, vra vir Mariska Radyn. Sê luister, hoe werk dit? Hoe lyk dit? Hoe kry ek 'n losie daar by julle sodat as COVID klaar is, ons weer kan Killarney toe kom, dat ons eie boks het, ons eie losie. Or if you'd like to become a sponsor and connected to a racing driver or a racing car that calls your fancy, she'll be able to give you the necessary contact details and link you up with your favorite driver of choice. Well, we just give the marshals opportunity to move those stricken vehicles on the exit of KFM corner, and we'll come back to you shortly.
Well, V8 Masters back on the grid, of course. Again, we had a race stoppage because of 3 cars getting all together. It was Brian Evans, Richard Schroeder, and it was Ian Kaplan as well that was involved in that particular incident at the KFM corner, turn 1. Fabio Tufani will keep his pole position. Sean Moore alongside him, who's challenging, was actually challenging on the inside. Behind Fabio Tufani with Angel coming around the outside. We'll see now if Richard Schroeder was actually able to get out there and get back on the grid. I don't know if he will be able to. We have a slightly truncated field here. 15, you'll see it's been a very active day on the through qualifying and races. You'll see on your screen now, it was the Clubman's qualifying earlier on, one of the Golfs going off, losing a wheel there in the turn 3 section. Bikes going down, that was Paul Medell that we're watching over here in the Power Sport bike race. And there was another, that's actually Paul Medell's bike being pushed in the background. It's somebody else actually going off. Very fortunate not to strike Paul Medell. But what happens is this has been, like I say, very active. We are a little bit, a little bit behind with as far as the time is concerned, watching on our screens as well. That was Byron Mitchell losing the back end of that Formula VW of his and getting going again as well in the race that we had right now that we're going to be restarting soon. We had Richard Schroeder losing it through the Turn 1 KFM corner complex. And then we had some Formula Fords and Formula Vs coming through as well. But we are around about 12:07 in the afternoon now. This is only about race 3 that we're going to get going now. And I can hear the engine striking up again. Thumbs up, and it looks like we could be going for an 8-lap race. And they'll be taken away around again by the safety car. So if you're just tuning in right now, welcome to the live stream through IMUSAT at Killarney. Still going to be 8 laps, so no reduction in laps. Yeah, it's basically a brand new race. Not even 1 lap was completed when the incident happened. It happened right at the first corner on the first lap. And away we go. So then Fabio Tofani will be the pole man, will follow suit. That safety car will get to KFM corner now. They get the 1-minute board, and now they'll get waved off to start off their warm-up lap. So Fabio Tofani, Sean Moore, second position. That's first row. Second row, Marcel Angel and Roy Campos. That's second row of the grid. Third row of the grid, Mark Ridgway and Alistair Brown. Barry Ingle, we had Richard Schroeder in the 8th position. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he'll be continuing. I know he drove away from the scene, I think, eventually, but he will not be in this race. This likewise for Brian Evans. So a number of positions have opened up on the grid, and a few would have gained a few places. Well, Gary, we're coming down the back straight now, and we'll watch the safety car peel into the pit lane, and we'll be ready to go for this first of the V8 Masters race today. Remember, like you said, no sponsor yet this year, so if anybody's interested in getting their name in motorsport, well, this is your chance. Gary, take them away.
All right, here we go. Marcel Angel on that inside line, second row. And in there behind Fabio Tofani. Last time it was all about Sean Moore that ducked in between the two of them and closed that line off. This time Sean Moore has a look on the outside. Sean Moore on the outside of Fabio Tofani. It is Marcel Angel on the inside line. Through turn 1 they go. Well, he holds on to that position pretty decently, is Fabio Tofani. He gets the whole shot. He's got Sean Moore in there behind him. Then it is Marcel Angel. Rui Campos following through. Oh, a big concertina effect under braking a little bit further back in the pack, but luckily everybody seems to make it through there. The front 3 already stretching a little bit of a gap from Rui Campos. Ridgway, the biggest loser in this one so far.
Yeah, they come through turn 3, through Damps, then onto the far back straight, to the KFM straight, of course, and then into Car Care Clinic corner, the double apex right-hander onto the back straight then as well. First lap, of course, and down the straight they go. Just a little bit of dust being kicked up there by Marcel Angel, but he'll get into the slipstream of Sean Moore ahead of him. I don't know if any moves are going to be made at this particular time, and when they get on their first fast lap, then we'll have to see when they come around then as well. They'll come, though, to start the next lap then with 7 laps left to go in this 8-lap race.
Well, as we said, there was pretty much very little gap between the front 3 on the qualifying. We see that exact same scenario now. Fabio Tofani, Marcel Angel up into that second position. Well, no, not. It's Marcel Angel. It initially showed going up. Sean Moore his transponder did not register, but it's already been corrected by the folks downstairs. So that's brilliant stuff. Quick reaction to that. So Sean Moore goes a slightly wider line into turn number 2, gets a late apex on that corner. That closes him right up onto the back bumper of Fabio Tofani. Down towards turn 3 they go now. Hard on the brakes. Stay in that third gear all the way through. Feed them. Oh, spinning. That's Marcel Angel. Angel's gone off. He did a complete 360 on the entrance to the turn 3. He was already starting to lead with the tail end, turned it right around, gets it back over the curbstones, back onto the track, but a long way down.
And he had just done the fastest first sector time as well, Gary. So he was really opening up. But now we go down the back straight, onto the inside, into turn 5, Fastron corner. Moore was just sticking his nose in there, but he will just come out second behind Fabio Tofani. That means Roy Campos should be now up into third position, with Mark Ridgway up into the 4th position.
Well, that opens the road up now from for Campos' point of view. Oh, side by side, look at that. Moore up on the inside. Sean Moore's not going to give it away this time. He's going to force his way up the inside line. Tofani's trying to fight back. Tofani going to have a look on the outside going into turn 2. He probably saw what Sean did. Oh, Sean turns it. Oh, the back end comes right around, but he holds onto it. Fabio Tofani somehow pulls a magic man wand out there, gets himself around the outside and says, thanks, Sean. But you about your mistake. Let's just reset back to me at the front and you in second place. The nice thing for Campos is that little, shall we call it tete-a-tete, that's my word for the day, has brought Rui Campos a lot closer to the front too.
And it could have been much worse, Gary, but some cool hands on that steering wheel over there. Sean Moore, he actually got the fastest lap the last time around before that little thing happening there. Roy Campos, he was 2.8 seconds back. He'll be a little bit closer now, but I think behind them, Alistair Brown and Barry Ingle. Watch out for them as well as they come down. I see here the silver class is Dennis Gaiduk is the first in class. Sander Lebon is second in class. That's 7th and 8th. They are at the moment as well. But across the line now comes Fabio Tofani, and he will then come through with Sean Moore and then Roy Campos.
Campos has closed up. It's only just over 1 second now for Campos in there behind that Mark Ridgway. He's 2.3 seconds further back than Alistair Brown. That's just been passed by Mark Ridgway. Barry Ingle has moved up now ahead of Alistair Brown. So Barry Ingle already getting into this one, doing a 1 minute 18, almost dead. So just 8/10 off the flyers up front, the likes of Fabio Tofani. Looking at the silver class, Dennis Geduk ahead of Sander Lebon. And there was 6/10 of a second between the two of them on that previous lap. And just 1.1 is the gap between the two of them. And that's pretty similar to the gap that there was between the two of them, first and second in the silver class under qualifying conditions earlier on this morning.
Well, Mark Ridgway comes down the back straight then, the number 51. He's 4th position at the moment. A little bit closer on the track, we had Barry Ingle and Alistair Brown. Alistair Brown went a little wide in turn 2 earlier on, losing a bit of ground there to Barry Ingle. But Dennis Gaiduk in the class silver, 7th position, number 9. He still has it from Sander Lebon at the moment now. But Fabio Tofani crosses the line. He's 7/10 of a second ahead of Sean Moore. Roy Campos, 1.66 off the lead, 9/10 off of Sean Moore with Mark Ridgway. He's basically started to space out a little bit. I see here, coming here, Sander Lebron, Brian Elgar, and then Marcel Angel. Looks like he's kept himself in the race there, Gary.
Yeah, somehow other, I don't know how, but he's still there. Well, I tell you what, Dennis Geduk is doing a lovely job. He's got 1.7 seconds now on the Sander Lebon. And that's pretty much that 0.7 that he picked up in the last lap. That is what's taken it to 1.7 seconds. That at the front of the silver class, Brian Elgar, just 0.7 off the two cars in front of him. So first, second, and third in the silver class, very, very evenly matched right now. Nothing much in it. Fabio Tofani is still leading out from Sean Moore, and they're not getting rid of Campos. Campos initially looked like he wasn't going to be on the same pace as them, and in qualifying was a bit off. Rui Campos is still within 1 second.
Yeah, he's got 1.6 off of the lead at the moment. He's within 1 of Sean Moore. But let's see how he's responded over here as well on this next lap. 3 laps left to go when they cross the line, though, Gary. It's still very close at the front there. Fabio Tafani is 2/10 of a second ahead of Moore, and they're watching 1.1 off the lead of the race is Rui Campos as they go through right now.
And it's now only 0.9 off the back of Sean Moore as they work their way up that short chute up towards turn number 2. Should there become a two-way battle between the two front runners, Campos is right in there. In fact, visually, Campos looks the closest that he's ever been to the two of them. Fabio Tafani doing a 18.6, 18.2 by Sean Moore, so that's closing up. 18.1 by Rui Campos, so he in fact was the fastest of that group. But Mark Ridgway, unfortunately, losing ground initially, now doing a 17.9, which is very, very quick. Although Sean Moore has done the fastest lap overall, a 1 minute 16.3.
Yeah, I don't think it will get much quicker than that, Gary. I think the fastest laps have basically been done for the day. Down the back straight they go then as well. It was 0.2 of a second between Tafani and Moore. The last time out as they go. They go through turn 5 now, the Fastron corner, and they will belt it for the line. 2 laps left to go. Let's take a look at the gap between them. Was 0.2 of a second. Will it stay around about the same? I think it's now spaced out just a little bit more. It is now 0.6 of a second. So it just shows you Fabio Tafani is starting to open it up now quite a bit, but now 1.7 seconds between Fabio Tafani and Rui Campos. So I think what happens is it's starting to get the pace up again.
Yeah, I think the difference is the slipstream. The lack of the slipstream is what's made the difference. Somehow Sean Moore has closed up once again onto the back of Fabio Tafani. A smaller gap between first and second as opposed to second and third. But hats off to Campos. That always looked like he was going to be a tad slower. But cometh the hour, cometh the man. Really got it up on pace. Mark Ridgway still one of the quickest out there. Fabio Tafani dropping now to 1:17.684. And that's why visually you see he's starting now to get the hammer down. 2 laps to go. I think he's worked the tires correctly. He's worked the brake temperatures correctly. And he's looking very, very solid right now.
Yeah, so Marcel Angel has pulled into the pits. Car is smoking, I have heard, and 21 has now gone into the pits as well. That is Brian Elgar that has gone into the pits, so out of the race for him as well. They are falling like flies here. But Gary, 1 more lap left to go as they cross the line here. 0.6 the last time out. It is now going to be 0.3 of a second. It's now or never as he gets a little bit squirrely, Sean Moore, as they go into the braking zone into turn 1.
Well, they've managed to shake off the likes of Rui Campos, but I think it's now going to be a one-on-one between Sean Moore and Fabio Tafani. Sean actually had a bit of a go on the entrance to KFM corner. He lost out on the... Oh, Tafani makes a mistake. Tafani made a mistake on the just after the apex on turn number 2, and that has brought Sean Moore into play. So Sean, having made a dive into KFM corner and then losing out on the exit, it's Tafani that gives that little bit of space that he made away once again. Now, through the double right-hander, Car Care Clinic corner, out into the back main they go. This is the last time that they're going to be going down the back straight. Tafani's got it all right. Tafani got good exit speed, and he's just pulled a little bit of a breather between himself and Sean Moore.
Yeah, I think he's got this one, Gary. They go into Fastron turn 5 now. Watch them going there. He goes a little bit wide off the apex, does Tafani. And just looking on the inside was Sean Moore, but he's not close enough. A little bit of dust being kept up there by Sean Moore as well. But they'll cross the line. They won't reach those cars over there as well ahead of them. Tafani wins it. Sean Moore second. Rui Campos just closed up the gap quite nicely over there as well. Mark Ridgway will take 4th position with Barry Ingle coming in this the yellow APV coming up now, number 2077 rather. Ingle will take 5th position. Alistair Brown will take the 6th position.
And then next up will be the silver class. Dennis Geduk comes through, the winner of the silver class, and he's got himself a decent gap eventually on a Sander Le Bon, 7.2 seconds. Menno Carstens not that far off, got shaken just a little bit off towards the end A 2.6 second gap back to him. Mike Brooks, the last car that'll be coming through. Here he comes now. That's the red and white one coming up the front main towards the start-finish line, and he completes it. So the gold class, Fabio Tofani from Sean Moore, Rui Campos, lovely dice. Silver, Dennis Geduk from Sander Le Bon and Menno Parsons. Did not start because of that first corner, first lap incident. Richard Schroeder, Brian Evans, and Ian Kaplan. Let's hope that of those 3 cars, or all of those 3 cars, can get sorted out in the pit area. They'll have all the necessary bits and pieces. It's just a case if there's enough time to get it all sorted out and get them out for the second race for them, for the season and for the day.
Oh, so the V8 Masters are now coming out of the Dennis Joubert pit complex, and they'll do their warm-up lap. We had originally 15 of them out there, but I think that's going to be a slightly truncated field now, because it's now questionable as to whether Marcel Angel, Richard Schroeder, Brian Evans, and Ian Kaplan will be out there after having their various comings together and technical problems. But we'll watch them now, and they'll line up, because they did a rolling start earlier on, and will be ready to go. I think they'll be taken around soon by the safety car. Yep, that's the Piet van der Walt 43 BMW. That will be the safety car, where they put the lights on, strap the lights on, and it's gone to become the safety car for today. So what will happen by, I think, the time the safety car gets to turn 1, then the field will start heading off, and we'll be able to pick up exactly how things are sitting at the moment. They're on the back straight at the moment. The marshals will be waving the yellow flags just to make sure that everybody just takes it easy around here. You don't want anything drastic to happen. We had earlier on some drastic things happen. I think it was Menno Parsons who came out in qualifying, and I think was on cold tires. The rear tires just spun, and found himself a spectator for the rest of the session. So it just shows you how quickly something can happen. Here they come now. It looks like it's going to be Sean Moore on pole position with the fastest lap. I didn't see the lap times in this. Then it'll be Fabio Tofani. Then we have the likes of Barry Ingle and Alistair Brown. Yeah, Sean Moore. Then we have the number 1 of Fabio Tofani. Here comes the number 51 now of Mark Ridgway. Excuse me, Mark Ridgway is the man on pole position. Alongside him would be Roy Campos. So Roy Campos will be second position. Then it will be Sean Moore. Then it will be Fabio Tofani. Then Barry Ingle, Alistair Brown, Dennis Geduk, of course, the first in the silver class. Sander Le Bon, second in class. In 8th position, they'll share the 4th row together. And then Menno Parsons in 9th, and then in 10th will be Mike Brooks. Brian Algar will be in 11th position. So 11th position for they get going now behind the safety car. Safety car is already well and truly through turn 1. I see the number 33 machine of Ian Kaplan is in the race. So no, there is Marcel Angel is starting this race by the looks of it. So no Brian Algar, no Brian Evans, no Richard Schroeder, and looks like no Sander Le Bon as well. They'll go on their lap behind the safety car, and at the end of the lap you'll pull in, and then the lights will be shining on the main straight, and when they go out, it's time to race when they cross the line. 8-lap race they'll be doing as well. No 10-lappers today, all 8-lappers. We are a bit pushed for time at we have been pushed for time a little bit. We are coming up to 3:30 in the afternoon. To bear in mind that we do have the motorcycle enduro for 1 hour a little bit later on. Some riders will be on a bike by themselves. Well, they'll be racing their bike themselves the entire go, and some will be sharing with a second rider. But that will be a little bit later on. It will be our last race of the day and our last bike race of the day as well. So here we go now, down the back straight. And now it's going to be basically when the safety car goes off, Mark Ridgway will regulate the pace. He'll become the de facto pace car, safety car rather, rather say safety car. And then he will find the time when he will then start, when he'll get on the gas. Here they go now through Fastron corner, turn 5. The fire bucky recovery vehicles at the back will pull off later in the lap. Here we go now, and it's going to be away. Watch out, the lights are on next on the main straight. All 5 of them, when those lights go out and they cross the line, then it's away we go. So Mark Ridgway, he regulates the pace now. When will we hear the roar of the V8s? Here we go now, and it's going to be going away. Mark Ridgway, he gets the corner advantage, of course, being on pole position off the racing line, though, and he will take the lead over there as well. Roy Campos under pressure from Sean Moore. Sean Moore will hang out on the inside. You won't have the corner advantage, though, for turn 2. And you'll be on the outside. Fabio Tofani will be pushing in there, but looks like alongside the van at the front, Mark Ridgway, it is Roy Campos. Roy Campos will hang in there. It looks like Fabio Tofani is up into 3rd position. Looking on behind them as well, Barry Ingle has got the jump there. Looks like it on, well, Alistair Brown, and then Dennis Kuduk will be a bit further down. But Alistair Brown in the red machine, he is 5th position. Looks like he's held that 5th position, or he could have lost it there. Silver car having come up, or check them out now as they go onto the back straight. It is the 51 of Mark Ridgway that leads away from Roy Campos. Roy Campos all over the back of him there as well. They go into turn 5, Fastron corner, and look at Fabio Tofani's banging doors there with Roy Campos. Roy Campos, will he keep that 2nd place? I think Fabio Tofani is just pushing his nose ahead as they go and start the next lap of this race. 2nd lap of the race, first full lap done. Then what happens is Mark Ridgway, Fabio Tofani, 2/10 of a second between the two of them. Now, Roy Campos under pressure here as well, as it's Moore that's going to try and get up into 3rd position. But now, watch, look at that. It's Fabio Tofani who's now leading this race, and he goes into turn 2, but banging doors there. It is Moore and Roy Campos, and it's almost 3 abreast, and Roy Campos loses the back end, and that's the same as well for the likes of Alistair Brown. Alistair Brown has actually lost it as well. A few cars have lost it. I think they might have stalled there, and Roy Campos, he's kept the engine going. It all looks like they've got going, except for one of the cars over there as well. I don't have binoculars on me. I don't know who that was hit over there, but we'll see them as they come around now. Fabio Tofani, though, a 1st sector time that was quite quick. Coming up now down the back straight as we go. Fabio Tofani holds the lead as they go into turn 5. As they go into turn 5, out onto the main straight. Crossing the line to start their 3rd lap of the race. 4/10 of a second between Tofani and Ridgway. Moore still hanging in there in 3rd position with Marcel Angel now up into 4th. Ingle, Brooks, Parsons, Campos, he's down in 8th position. Campos has still got to cross the line though, and I think what happens is Campos, he's going to be coming around. No, I don't actually see him. I don't see Campos at all. I see, it looks like going to be Alistair Brown crossing the line. And there's something hanging off that car if you see him on the main straight going into turn 1. But the leaders are already into the turn 3 complex. Coming out of the turn 3 complex. And coming across the line, I think now we have Roy Campos in 10th position at this time. So from the very sharp end of the field, he's now down in 10th position. But going now towards Cape Town corner, or rather to turn 5, Fastron corner. And what happens is he's going to go in there now. Tafani is under pressure. I think Mark Ridgway is poking a hole through there as well. Mark Ridgway is going to be side by side with Fabio Tafani, but it was 0.4 of a second between the two of them the last time around. It's going to be quite close between the two of them, 0.2 of a second, with Moore coming in between the two of them over there as well. And well, coming right in is Fabio Tafani. Marcel Angel though has got the fastest lap of the race, a 1:17.088 for Marcel Angel. Ahead there of Barry Ingle. Barry Ingle hanging in there as well with Mike Brooks. Ilan Kaplan comes across the line. It's 7th and 8th is Menno Parsons and Ilan Kaplan. The leader's going to turn 3 now. Turn 3, Fabio Tafani hangs it on, and ahead of Mark Ridgway. Mark Ridgway a little further down in the first race of the day, getting the pole with the times, and now right at the sharp end of the field as Campos crosses the line now. Dennis Geduk looks like he's out of the race. We could only maybe have 10 racing drivers left in this race. Roy Campos, the man, of course, that rounds it all off ahead of no one, behind Alistair Brown. Alistair Brown, Barry Ingle, the man he was fighting with earlier on, still hanging on to 5th position at the moment now, as out of Fastron turn 5 we come towards the line and under the Mad Max Bridge. And Moore is going to have a go into turn 1. Into turn 1, Moore will have a go on Ridgway. Ridgway is going to be on the outside, but going wide. Going wide in turn 1. It is Moore. Moore will come back onto the circuit. He's lucky not to go too much, but he will lose out 2 places as Fabio Tafani puts in a 1:16.869. Wonderful lap time there from him as well, as the laps keep going down as well now on the last lap. 4 laps left to go in this race, including the current one. Fabio Tafani starting to escape now, but it's Moore and the second place man, the second place man, Moore, and Ridgway, I should rather say second place, and then Moore is hanging on to him there as well as they come around. Coming through the picture frame now. I think they're actually starting to try and put some laps on people soon, but then you'll have the Marcel Angel car who held the fastest lap for a short little while, but on the outside though, it is Moore on, actually that's Ridgway. They're trying to get through on some of the lapped traffic for now, but coming now along, here comes Fabio Tafani. Then we have Mark Ridgway and Sean Moore coming through. Oh, there goes a wide campaigner there as well. I think that's Marcel Angel, excuse me. Marcel Angel crossed the line in second position, and Moore has rotated it in turn 1. And the 24 machine has spun it, unfortunately, and hopefully kept the engine running as they come into the second turn of the race. Second turn of the lap, I should rather say. And while coming across the line now, that was Ilan Kaplan. Then Alistair Brown as he comes across the line on the main straight. Still, Alistair Brown has still got a cord or something hanging off of that car as he goes through turn 1 now. So I'd like to know what that is. I'm surprised he's not getting the black and orange flag for something over there, because that could come off the car and could cause serious damage. But maybe he just thought he'd just go with it and everything as well. But Fabio Tafani still leads the way. 3 laps left to go, including this current one they are on. Here he comes now in the familiar orange and blue machine. Marcel Angel earlier on spun it. So what happens is we have Mark Ridgway, then we have Marcel Angel. Bit of smoke coming from Marcel Angel's car there. And I don't know if that's, it could be just a little bit of smoke from the engine. Oil getting past the rings there, but Barry Ingle up into 4th position. It looks like it is, yes. The man who spun was Sean Moore. And Sean Moore is now currently in 5th position, having lost out so much ground to the guys that he was fighting with. Barry Ingle is ahead of him, and then he's ahead of Mike Brooks and Menno Parsons. On the main straight though, here comes Ilan Kaplan. on the main straight now. And Alistair Brown, as I see him come past with quite something on the back there, hanging on the back. Roy Campos has closed up the gap to him as they go into turn 1. Where are our leaders? On the back straight though, on the back straight towards turn 5. Fastron corner. And they'll be coming through there as well now. It's pretty much all spaced out just a little bit. And Tafani will hold that lead. He was 2.8 seconds ahead of Mark Ridgway the last time out. I would feel that has grown considerably as Ridgway is having to contend with a smoking machine of, there's quite a big puff of smoke there coming from that APV of Marcel Angel as they go into turn 1 KFM corner. Hopefully that car holds it as he goes onto the rumble straight, onto the Porsche straight. And it is the last lap of the race, the final lap of the race in the second of the V8 Masters. I think what happens is he could just keep it, as that is now Menno Parsons coming across the line. Only 10 cars left in this race. And Fabio Tafani, the man who proudly wears number 1 on that APV of his, he will now just take it through turn 4, Apex 1, Apex 2, onto the back straight and above the tunnel. Shoots it down to turn 5, Fastron corner. And then into the last of the corners he'll then come. And he should. Mark Ridgway got himself a first sector time that was quite quick. It's too much, 3.4 seconds the last time around between them. Fabio Tafani will take victory here. Checkered flags out for him and he wins by 2.1 seconds from Mark Ridgway. Marcel Angel will take the 3rd position. Then we have Barry Ingle in the yellow machine, bright yellow APV. He'll take 4th position. Sean Moore will take the 5th position. And then Mike Brooks will cross the line in 6th. Menno Parsons. Where is Menno Parsons? Coming down the straight now. Here comes the last little battle at the back here. I think this is Alistair Brown that is battling it out with Ilan Kaplan. Ilan Kaplan actually closed the gap quite nicely over there. I think what happens is there's a bit of a hindrance with Alistair Brown. Yeah, they cross the line. And, okay, Ilan Kaplan actually has fallen down, rather, I should say, to the back. And there was Roy Campos that finishes in 9th position.